In this video, I want to share with you the most common questions and concerns that women might have when you try to pull them home, and I want to teach you how to answer them so that this way you're equipped and ready to handle pretty much anything she's bothered by or concerned about in regards to coming home with you. Now, the first one by far is the most common one. You've probably heard this a million times, and that's when the girl says, I can't leave my friends, or I'm here with my friends. If it's early on in the night and she's gonna have to come back to the club and meet her friends afterward, just tell her, okay, so we're just gonna go for a bit, and when your friends tell you that they want you to come back, we'll come back, okay? No big deal. And you can even stack that and say, it's not like you're a child or anything that they would have to come pick you back up anyway. I'll just make sure you get back. I can get you an Uber, I'll walk you back, whatever's easier at the time. But we'll go for a few drinks, no big deal, okay? And notice my tone of voice. It doesn't sound like a big deal at all. Now, if it's late at night, you could always point out that her friends are probably going to all be going in their own direction soon. They're all going to be going to their own separate homes and not be sleeping at hers most likely. So just say, yeah, everyone's going to be going home soon anyway, so it shouldn't really matter that much. And now we could even leave them and go do our own thing without feeling guilty that we're going to off and doing our own thing. Now, if she says, can my friends come? And she wants to invite her friends, just say, okay, well, how many friends do you need to bring? And then you also want to find out how she knows them. So just say, how do you know them? And you're going to determine based off of what her answers are, whether or not they're likely to cock block, okay? Whether or not they're likely to get in the way of the interaction between you two. So just say, yeah, sure, but they're cool, right? I don't want to bring anyone that's going to have issues with us hanging out and get all defensive if we go off and do our own thing. Those people always ruin the fun. So if you were to say that, the frame is now set that she could bring people as long as they don't get in the way. And you could even add and say, well, you've known them for a while, right? I don't want to bring anyone that I'm going to have to worry about. And this way you're protected, okay? Remember, you're letting people into your home that you have no idea who they are, and you need to make sure that they understand what's expected of them, that they can't go and ruin your home, and that they can't go and ruin your interaction. So you need to set those frames so they know what's expected of them. Now, an alternative is to tell the girl, yeah, I'd totally rather hang out just us two so we could actually spend some real quality time together, but if we absolutely have to bring someone and that's the only way we could do this, let's just bring whoever we absolutely have to, and that's it, okay? And so that might mean that like she might bring her sister, but keep in mind that her sister, she might have to bring her, but she might be a cockblock, so you need to evaluate the probabilities there. Now keep in mind, the more people you do bring, the more likely it is that there's a cockblock in there somewhere in the group that you're bringing, okay? Now you should be good regardless when you use those frames I just set for you, or I just taught you how to set. But you still want to do your own due diligence and make sure that they're not going to be getting in the way. You need to do your own evaluation because you're going to be the one who's going to be there, and it's going to be your own home, okay? She might say, I have to catch the train home. So just say, okay, well, come for a bit, and you can take one of the next ones. If you come for like 20, 30 minutes, the trains run all the time, so just grab one of the next ones. And you could also offer to get her an Uber home or to drive her home if you have your own car. You'll want, if you're going to do that, just evaluate the cost of the Uber and whether or not you actually could drive her home. But keep in mind, a lot of girls are going to convert just off of that alone because now they have a more convenient way home than if they were going to go with the train, okay? So just keep that in mind. Now, she also might say, well, this is my last train for the night, or I won't have another way home if I come with you. Now, maybe she has a friend who's going to drive her home, and now she might miss that. So say, well, you could always sleep over by me. I have a really comfortable bed, and if you don't want to do that, you could always sleep on my couch if that's what you're more comfortable with. But if at the very worst case scenario, I could Uber you home or drive you back, again, if you have a car, when I'm sober, whatever you prefer. So tell her that, whatever you prefer. It's so key. Look, lots of girls are going to want to come with you simply off that because now they get to have fun with you, and now they get to get laid, which, believe it or not, a lot of girls want, and now she even has a more convenient way home, as I said. So it's really a great situation to be able to set up that way. She might say, well, I have some friends sleeping over and I'm the only one with the key. Explain to her, well, that's an easy one. Just give the person you trust the most with the key and tell them you'll meet them back in a little bit, okay? Tell them you'll be back in an hour at the latest or 2 hours, and that should be okay. She might say, I don't want to go too far, or how far is it? You should always be living close. Remember I said that and the value of the logistics. Always live close to the venues that you're going to be going out so distance won't be an issue. And so when she asks how far it is, you could very easily tell her the truth and she'll be very comfortable with that. So if she asks for how far it is, understand she just basically asked for a general idea. She doesn't need to know the exact minute or the exact second. So you could under-exaggerate somewhat so she feels even more comfortable, but don't completely lie and say it's 10 minutes away when it's really an hour away. Okay, to give you an example, if it's 10 minutes away, you could say, oh, it's only a few minutes. Or if it's 30 minutes away, you could say it's about like 15, 20 minutes max. You won't even notice the ride. So yeah, it'll be quick. Now, that's what I just want you to keep in mind, but do not lie. She also might say, well, fine, but I'm not having sex with you tonight, or we're not having sex tonight. If you follow my model, you should almost never be hearing this, but if she says it, you want to let her know, okay, it's okay, we don't have to have sex, but just so you know, like, that's still what I want. So say, all right, well, we don't have to have sex, but if we did, I think you would agree. It would probably be a lot of fun. We have great chemistry, and so it wouldn't be like the worst thing in the world. She might say, well, I don't want to get stuck outside the club. And, you know, if the venue stamps, just say, okay, well, don't worry, we'll get stamped on the way out and we'll be able to come back in no problem. If the venue doesn't stamp, just say, well, don't worry, I know the doorman and they're very chill and I know they'll for sure let you back in. And again, don't lie. If you think the doormen are not chill, just say, okay, well, we'll figure it out, but I promise we'll make sure you're okay. You're in my care. Now, this is where it's going to be really helpful for you to know the doorman and the club's policy about getting back in, but you're also really going to be able to have a lot of leverage with the doorman because for one, you can make sure he recognized you. So say, hey man, I'm going to be back in a bit. I want to be able to come back, and look, even if I can't get back in, she needs to be able to get back in. So put that emphasis on her. And oftentimes, even if you slipped him like a $10 bill, which is totally worth it to make sure you could pull your quality girl, your 10, give it to him. Just say, hey, and I'll even take care of you if I need to, okay? She just needs to be able to get back in. And keep in mind that oftentimes the girl won't even want to come back, so just know that. She won't want to come back because she'll be busy hooking up with you. And if she does want to come back, oftentimes either the friends are willing to go home already because so much time has passed, or, you know, if she can't get back in the worst case scenario, they'll be able to go to another venue. But girls generally have a way easier time getting back into a venue than we do as guys, just the way the world works, or at least getting into another venue altogether that's equally as fun as the one that's there, even if it's a high-end venue. Now, she could say, well, I paid to get in, or I don't want to have to pay again to get back in. Now, obviously, this is for a venue where there's a cover charge. And most of the time, women won't have to pay a cover charge at all. But if they do, it's usually no more than $5 to $10 at the very, very most. And we're talking about even in the mega clubs in Las Vegas or in New York, they generally don't have to pay anything to get back in. And what the issue is really is that no one really wants to spend the $5 or $10 or feel like they're being penalized, like they didn't actually get to experience what they paid for the $5 or $10. Remember, they're invested, and that's what cover charges are meant to do, is get you to invest in their club so you don't want to leave. So just say, look, all right, well, look, I don't think you care that much. If it bothers you that much, I'll just cover it myself. I'll give you $5 or $10. It's, you know, to be honest, you'll probably save even more money by drinking with me, where we'll even have a better time with a nicer view and whatnot than if you were to stay here and spend money on drinks. So you'll even save money, just so you know, but still, I'll cover it if that really bothers you. She could say, well, I've already called my Uber. Just tell her to cancel it. A lot of girls will say, okay, fine. But if they don't do that, she might say, well, I don't want to get charged the $5. And in that case, you're just going to say, well, look, you could just dispute it. Just say that the Uber couldn't find you or it took too long. It works really every single time. And you'll get your money back. Now, if she says, well, what if I don't get my money back, or it's too late and it's actually after, you know, she won't be able to get her money back, just say, look, there's no way you actually care about that $5. If anything, you just care about not having that shitty feeling of knowing that you were charged. Look, it's a dumb sales tactic and it's working, and it's actually going to cost us tonight. So I'll tell you what. I'll give you the $5 out of my own pocket if you can't get it back, or I'll even give it to you now, and worst case scenario, next time you buy me a drink, okay? You know, we're going to have a lot of fun tonight, and I would hope I would see you again, especially if we keep having fun this way. Now, that's a great way to handle that one. And you got to realize, again, same thing as the club fee. One of the major setbacks of being able to pull girls when there's a cover or some kind of penalty is that people don't want that feeling of that they've invested or they're going to be punished. It's in our innate, desire to avoid being penalized. So it's totally normal, but you need to acknowledge it. Tell her you know what she's feeling. You tell her you know why she's feeling it, and you'll have a way easier time getting her to comply with that. She might say, who's going to be there? And if she says that and the truth is just you and her, just say, well, it's just going to be us two. If there's other people coming, just say, well, just tell her who's coming. So, oh yeah, well, it's going to be us two. You wanted to bring your two friends and my two friends are going to come. So this way we could all party together. Now, don't ever make it sound like it's a big party or you're bringing her to some big public setting where anyone could get in or something like that. Remember, the point here is to emphasize that it's an exclusive small event going on that you two are going to create together and have fun together. Not that everyone could get in, and it should really sound, in fact, like, no, it's just going to be us two. What do you mean? Like, why would I bring a whole party to my home? And that's how you'd want to set it if it really is only you two. Now, if you invite her to do shots, you might say, why don't we do shots here? Or if you invited to see your nice rooftop and you're already on a rooftop, you could always mention the venue qualifiers and disqualifiers. So to give you an example, just say, well, look, I have a really nice view with a nice mini bar. We can drink whatever we want and we won't have to wait in the long lines. Plus, we'll be able to get to hang out together and have some really quality time without anyone spilling their drinks on us or not having a place to sit or people bumping into us. And you said you like to smoke weed, so I'm totally down to smoke weed. Plus, I'd really like to bring you to where I live. That's a great way to answer that. She might say, how do I know you won't kill me? Here, you really want to treat it almost like she's being ridiculous, okay? If you react to this and be like, what do you mean? You're going to really set off some defenses. So treat her like she's being ridiculous, like what? And you can say, okay, you watch way too much Criminal Minds. Now, treat it like it's ridiculous. Another great way to say is like, is that a serious question? Now, notice my facial expression. Is that a serious question? Are you really asking me, out of all people, if I'm going to do that? Are you crazy? So again, don't treat it like it's a big deal. But if she does seem genuinely concerned, even after you tried that approach, just say, well, I'll tell you what. Why don't we go all the way there? We'll walk there together. And if anything happens where you feel like it's creepy or it's gotten weird or my building is just really, really weird and the doorman I told you who was going to be there isn't there and my building is just sketchy, I'll tell you what, I'll pay for your Uber back or I'll walk you back if you want me to. But I'm telling you, once we get there, you're going to be really happy we're there. Now, she might say, well, I think we're going to stay here. And this sometimes happens when the girl gets overwhelmed. So just say, okay, well, I guess I'll stay too. I really do want to bring you. I think it would be a lot of fun, but I'm not going to go without you. And really what she needs to feel from that is that you're not going to leave without her, that as much as you like her, you're not just trying to hook up with her, and if she's not down to do it right then, you're just going to leave and go try to hook up with the next girl, because that actually won't make her feel like she's a one-of-a-kind girl, which is what we're aiming to do here. And this is the truth, because she should be a one-of-a-kind girl. Those are the girls that you should be approaching. Now, in this situation, you would want to treat it almost like it's non-compliance, build the vibe more, and then try again a little bit later when she is more vibed with you, right? Where she likes you more. Now, she might say, I'm tired, or I've been working all day, or I've been drinking since 5 p.m., or some variation of how tired she is. And what you need to do here is sell her on the YOLO, okay? She needs to feel excited and that it's okay that she's exhausted and that you'll cater to that as well. So say, well, look, just sleep in tomorrow. You're already out, so you may as well have fun. And if you come for 20 to 30 minutes, it won't kill you, and you'll leave whenever you're ready. Plus, I can make you a vodka Red Bull or a coffee if you want, so this way you can wake up. And you really want to stress that vodka Red Bull and that coffee, because a lot of girls don't want to be in an awkward situation where they don't know what to say because they're so tired, and you probably have felt that yourself when you've gotten tired. So what you really want to do is stress the vodka Red Bull or the coffee, the fact that you could wake her up, because that is her concern. She might say, well, I have to be up early tomorrow. And if she says that, you're going to say something along the lines of, well, me too, and I probably won't be getting any sleep tonight altogether. And if you're anything like me, you're probably used to doing all the responsible things all the time and doing everything you're supposed to do when you're supposed to do it. And I think the last thing people like you and I should be doing is adding more responsibility and restrictions to our free time. To be honest, I don't think 30 minutes is going to kill either one of us. So why don't we just go, and whenever you're ready to go, I'll make sure you get back, okay? I'll make sure, I'll walk you to the train. If you want to take the train, I'll get you an Uber if that's what you want to do. I'll make sure you get back, okay? And the point here is not only that are you still solving her objection, but you're also using the objection to say it's not a good enough excuse. So you're going to say, for example, let me give you an example. Let's say your friend says that he can't come with you to Miami even though you invited him because he's $1,000 in debt. But you say to him, dude, I'm going and I'm $5,000 in debt. So I think what we should do is go have fun. And I know we could both make the money back and we'll do that once we go, but let's go have fun now. And what you're basically saying is, look, I'm in a worse situation than you and I'm not worried. So I don't think it makes sense for you to be worried too. We're both smart enough. We could both handle this situation. She could say, well, I just got here, or we just got here if she's with her friends. And in that case, you need to realize that sometimes girls just got to the venue and they're still kind of trying to organize themselves and figure out what they want to do. And so you're going to use those venue qualifiers about your home, and you're going to use the venue disqualifiers about the venue that you're currently at, so she understands your place is a way better option. So you're going to say, yeah, exactly. We just got here too. I just got here too. Let's just go pregame for a bit, and we can always come back when we're ready. And the awesome part is we get a drink as much as we want without having to spend more money than necessary, because we're probably all going to spend a lot of money tonight. And, we won't have to wait in lines or anything like that. Plus, my place is awesome. And then you're going to give her the venue qualifiers, like I have a great rooftop, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so you know the deal over there. Now, she might say, well, I'm still waiting for my friends, and then this is when she's kind of standing around waiting for her friends to come meet her. You want to find out how long it'll take for her friends to get there. And if you have time before they get there, let's say they won't be there for 20 minutes or 30 minutes, then you could say, okay, so why don't we just go for a bit? That's what I think we should do. Let's go for a bit. And worst case scenario, we'll text them the address and they can meet us there because, yeah, I don't even live that far. So if we're having fun, it's awesome. They'll just meet us there, and I think it's way better than standing around over here, okay? So let's go. That's exactly how you'd want to handle that. Now, if they're going to be coming within the next minute or two and you really don't have that much time, you could say, okay, well, why don't you just text them that we're walking, that you met somebody really cool who invited them to a cool party, and just text them the address and make sure that they know how to get there, and we could all go together. When you do that, still make sure that you're screening for cock blocks, by the way. You want to keep that in mind. She might say, can I something first? Can I smoke my cigarette first? Can I finish my drink first? Can I get another drink first? Okay? If she has a drink, you really do want to encourage her to finish that drink kind of quickly. You don't have to push her, but you technically could try to excite her to chug it. Okay, you could also even offer to help her finish her drink and then tell her in exchange you're going to make her a better one when you get to your home. Okay, this way you could bring her home without having to wait. And you really need to be careful with girls ordering drinks, because if they're speaking to you while they're drinking, that could easily add 10 to 15 minutes to the interaction before you pull, if not longer than that 10 minutes. And if that happens, again, the longer you take to pull, the less likely it is going to be that it's going to happen. She might find her friends who are going to all of a sudden want to stop her, or whatever. Drunk guys get in the way. She gets too drunk, whatever. Now, look, if she's smoking, just tell her to walk with it. I've had that happen where girls say, well, can I finish my cigarette first? Just say, walk with it. If she says, let me ask my friend, or something like that, let me ask my friends, let me see if my friends are down, that's another objection. You could say, first, see if she's comfortable. And if she's excited about the idea about going home with you, and she's okay with that idea, then see if she's willing to do it without her friends, and say, well, to be honest, I'd so much rather go just us two. This way we could spend some real fun time together. If she insists on bringing her friends, then again, you're going to want to screen for cock blocks, and then you're going to only bring the people who absolutely need to come. So find out how many people she needs to bring and how she knows them, and determine whether or not they're going to cock block. Now, if she's saying that she wants to check with her friends because she doesn't want to tell you no since she's not totally comfortable yet and she's kind of putting the fault on her friends or allowing her friends to say no for her. Just keep that in mind, that sometimes happens. I think you know what I'm talking about. Just say, okay, well, just so you know, I just invited you because I think you're gonna have a lot of fun. I like you. Okay, I'm really like, I look at you, you're very pretty, and I think we'd have a lot of fun together. But I don't want you to feel like I'm dumping pressure on you. Okay, so if you feel like if you're going to your friends because you don't know how to tell me no, I can handle a no. It just to me it would mean that you need more time to get to know me and know I'm a normal guy and that I'm put together and that I would never ever harm you. But anyway, nice to meet you. I'm Chris and whatever. Just keep doing it that way. So build the vibe. It's the same thing as handling non-compliance. Now she might say, and this is so annoying when girls say it, I'm sure you could find other girls. That is so annoying if you're a guy and you're trying to hit on her. So just say, look, well, I don't want just any girl to come with me. I kind of like you and I want you to come, and that's why I invited you, okay? Is that all right with you? You really want to put the emphasis on you wanted her to come and that's why you invited her. You know other girls would come with you. Now, look, most of the time, really what she's saying is that she wants you to specifically say that you want her to come, and it's not an invitation for anyone and everyone. And that's why it said you really want to emphasize the exclusivity and you want to give her that qualification about how awesome she is and why you really want her to come, okay? It's going to make her feel way better. Now, she might say, why are you asking me all these questions? And sometimes that'll happen when you're asking a lot of logistical questions, okay? Sometimes you might come off a little bit pushy, and that's okay. It's okay to come off a little bit pushy. You can say, well, I'm just trying to figure out what's holding you back and why you don't feel comfortable so we could act, I want to make you feel comfortable. I want to solve it for you so we could have fun together. And if I could do it and make you feel comfortable, that's awesome. That would be exciting for both of us. She might say, well, why do you want me to come so badly? This is where you really need to own your interest for the girl and say, well, because I like you, duh. Why else would I invite you to my home? Okay, you really want to own it. She might say, well, I'm already drunk, or I don't want to drink anymore. And that's when you invite her to get drinks with you, or you might want to invite her to smoke, and she might say, well, I don't want to smoke. You can find something else to seed with, but you could always say, and this is what I recommend saying, look, we don't have to drink more if you don't want to. I'm just inviting you to come and have fun with me, and I live close by, and my home is XYZ qualifiers, and this place is disqualified because these 5 reasons. That's what you want to do, okay? Add those venue qualifiers and disqualifiers and tell her it's not about the drinks, it's about you two having fun together. Now look, objections like that are really, really, really important and really valuable because it allows you to clarify that you like the girl and that you're not just inviting her for no reason. And if you notice, the common theme to all the answers are just to help create the we dynamic. No, but we could do this together. It makes sense because we could have fun together, and those 5 things you were worried about, yeah, they're not real problems. And these are the good reasons why it makes sense to go, and that's the model you're going to be following. And as you could see, all we're really doing is we're giving her loopholes to the situations that potentially could ruin it, or at least makes her feel like it could ruin it, okay? So in a way, if you think about it, this is a great way I think about it, is if you think back to when you were in high school and you had a girlfriend and you were both hooking up when your parents were home, or at least you wanted to, maybe you're at her home and her parents were there, or you were at your home and your parents were there and you're trying to hook up without being loud and getting caught. All you're trying to do is find loopholes. You're just trying to be like, okay, well, what if we went to that room? Or, oh, I have an idea. What if we did it this way? That's all you're trying to do is create a fun situation where no one gets in trouble.